Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and it is time for my first 2017 NBA mock draft. And let me just tell you something right now. After the top 10, I don't know where these players are going right now. I haven't done enough work on these players outside of the top 10, and as I went from big board to big board, from mock draft to mock draft, no one's really consistent right now on any of their prospects beyond the top 10 picks. Everyone's pretty definite on the prospects going in the top 10, and I've done enough research on those prospects in the top 10 to say, okay, yeah, they're good, and I can slot them. I know their strengths, their weaknesses, and slot them to the appropriate teams. Beyond the top 10, I just kind of put names and positions to certain teams, so just take this mock draft with a grain of salt. But as we get closer and closer to the 2017 NBA draft that will take place on June 22nd, I will be more definite and confident in my mock draft. But right now, I'm not confident any of these picks beyond pick 10 will be correct, other than sheer luck. So with that said, let's focus on the top 10. I will talk about the top 10, but again, you can see the mock draft on your screen as well as in the description box below. So to focus on the top 10, the first pick, Boston Celtics, Markelle Fultz. Everyone's expecting this right now. Perhaps Danny Ainge will fall in love with Lonzo Ball, the point guard out of UCLA. Perhaps he will fall in love with Josh Jackson, the wing player out of Kansas. But for right now, Markelle Fultz is the consensus best prospect in this draft. I agree with that assessment. Go watch my scouting report of Markelle Fultz. You'll know that, hey, I love Markelle Fultz. He's the best player in this draft to me. I don't think it's very close. I'm betting on Markelle Fultz, and I think the Celtics will as well. We go to pick number 2. I have the Lakers selecting point guard Lonzo Ball. Perhaps they'll fall in love with De'Aaron Fox or Josh Jackson, but for right now, Lonzo Ball makes the most sense, and I have them taking Lonzo Ball. Pick number 3, Philadelphia 76ers have them taking De'Aaron Fox. Now, here is where things get interesting. And you can go one of 3 routes for the most part. You can either slot De'Aaron Fox like I did, you can slot Josh Jackson, or you can slot Jayson Tatum. Those are the 3 possibilities that we're primarily talking about when we talk about the 76ers' 3rd overall pick. And I went with De'Aaron Fox. And I know this is going to shock some of you, as I and others have Josh Jackson as a top 3 prospect in the draft, but there are character concerns with Josh Jackson, and Jerry Colangelo, who is the new guy in the 76ers front office, he just said recently they're taking character concerns into serious account. They want to build a good, solid locker room. So assigning more and more like De'Aaron Fox with the pick over Josh Jackson, and the buzz around De'Aaron Fox has been really high lately. Some even want to say he's better than Lonzo Ball, and he's the 2nd best prospect in the draft over Lonzo Ball. So I think Fox's draft stock right now is higher. The buzz around him is higher, so I'm going to go with Fox here. But again, even Jayson Tatum to me could go at this spot, at this selection. But for right now, I like De'Aaron Fox. And some people question the fit with he and Ben Simmons. How will you have 2 primary ball handlers? I don't know. How will you? Ask the Cleveland Cavaliers with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James how horrible it is to have 2 ball handlers. They'll tell you, oh, it's so terrible. You could have Ben Simmons, who would be a mini LeBron James, and De'Aaron Fox would be a mini Kyrie Irving, and see how they develop in the future. To me, it makes sense. We move on to pick number 4. The Phoenix Suns selecting Josh Jackson. So again, I'm not sure where Jackson's going to go because there are character concerns with him, but the Suns make a lot of sense. But they could also easily take Jayson Tatum over him, and if Fox is available here, I question whether or not they take Fox. To me, I would. No way in hell would I take De'Aaron Fox over either one of those small forwards, because to me, I know you want to trade Eric Bledsoe. First of all, I don't know why, but I know that's what the Suns want to do. That doesn't make sense to me, but why trade him because you want to draft De'Aaron Fox? That's why you want to trade this guy? Because I'm not sure De'Aaron Fox will ever be better than Eric Bledsoe. I'm not sure about that at all. So to me, I'm holding on to Eric Bledsoe. This guy averaged 21 points per game, and he just turned 27 years old. This guy still has plenty of years left, and he still has like 3 years left on his deal. Let him play out that deal. Maybe trade him the last year of his deal in like 2019. So to me, that's the move. It wouldn't make sense to select De'Aaron Fox if he's available, but in this mock draft, he was not. We look at pick number 5, Sacramento Kings. they select Jayson Tatum. They will take whoever is available of Fox, Jackson, and Tatum to me. Unless if they really fall in love with a Jonathan Isaac or Dennis Smith or, God forbid, a Lauri Markannen. Okay, maybe in a Frank Ntilikina. But to me, Jayson Tatum, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron Fox, whoever is available, they will take. Pick number 6, Orlando Magic select Malik Monk. And Magic fans, I need to hear from y'all. Who the hell do y'all want? Because I didn't know who to mock. So I went with Monk. Okay, I mocked Monk to the Magic. Okay, that's some nice alliteration for your ass. And the reason why I did it was he was the best player on the board to me outside of Dennis Smith. But could the Magic take Dennis Smith? To me, it's possible. And here's the situation. How do the Magic feel about Evan Fournier and Elfrid Payton? Payton, their starting point guard. Fournier, their starting shooting guard. Fournier led the team in points last season, but his PER wasn't even 15, which is league average. Why? Because he's not that efficient. He doesn't do anything outside of scoring the basketball. Payton had a nice PER. He is really good defensively. He gets good assists. He's a good passer, but he's terrible in terms of scoring and shooting. Who are the Magic prepared to move on from? If either one of those guys at all, perhaps they'll look at power forward and Jonathan Isaac or Lauri Markannen. So that's an issue to me. I didn't know what to do. Magic fans, help me out next time, because I went with Monk today, but next week it could be Dennis Smith. Me, I take Dennis Smith. To me, he's better than Malik Monk, and I think he could really help this Magic team because, man, they need a star, and Dennis Smith could be that, and Monk could be that as well. But Monk and Fournier, they're kind of similar. Monk's better. Monk is actually explosive at the rim. Okay, so he adds that dimension to your team. But beyond that, not much does he add to your team. While Dennis Smith would add a lot to your team. Screw Elfrid Payton, trade his ass. That's what I would do. We look at number 7, Minnesota Timberwolves. They select forward Jonathan Isaac out of Florida State. And this is the pick that makes so much sense, man. I mean, this pick makes too much sense, man. It's perfect for the Minnesota Timberwolves as they have a need at power forward, I believe. I mean, maybe you can be a fan of Gorgie Dang and you like the idea of having Towns and Dang forever. But to me, they have a need at power forward. That's to me. So why not take Jonathan Isaac? It lines up perfectly for them. If they would have dreamed a scenario in which there was a position where they would have been able to take a player at that certain position, it would have been power forward. And now they're going to have a choice of pretty much 3. In Jonathan Isaac, Lauri Markannen, and Zach Collins if they feel so, I don't know, compelled. To me, I would take Isaac. I really like Isaac. I think he could end up being an all-star player in this league, but you have him next to Andrew Wiggins, have him next to Karl Anthony Towns. This will be a hell of a nice trio there. We'll see if they keep Zach LaVine in the near future because his contract is running out soon. But for now, this little pick right here, Jonathan Isaac, could go a long way. And I'm also intrigued to say, hey, if Dennis Smith is available, would they take him? Now, last year they took point guard Chris Dunn, okay, and they still like his potential. But, man, that guy didn't do anything last year. Let's just call it what it is. I'm interested in Dennis Smith, and to me, hey, let's double down at point guard. Screw Tyus Jones. You can bump him off the roster if you have to. To me, I'm interested in Dennis Smith, but Jonathan Isaac makes the most sense, so that's why I mocked him here. Number 8, New York Knicks. Now, Knicks fans are pissed, right, because they moved down in the draft lottery, but hey, you're going to end up with a good player as long as you select the right player. Okay, and to me, Dennis Smith here, if he's available, he's the right player. Take him. Okay, to me, there are 8 solid prospects in this draft, and you're going to end up with one of them as long as you just take one of them. Don't get presumptuous and take a Frank Ntilikina or Zach Collins or OG Anunoby or Donovan Mitchell, the Hamidou Diallo. You sit there and you take one of those top 8 guys that I just mocked. Okay, Fultz, Ball, Fox, Jackson, Tatum, Monk, Isaac, or Smith. One of them should be a New York Knick. I didn't mean to rap there, but god damn it, I did. Oh, I'm on fire today. So with that said, I have Dennis Smith going to the New York Knicks. Number 9, Lauri Markannen out of Arizona. And I like Markannen. I don't want to make it seem like I don't. I don't think he's going to be that good like some people think, like an all-star player. I don't think so. I mean, there are things to like about it, but man, he struggles defensively, so much defensively. And he's a nice shooter, very good shooter, great shooter, but What is he beyond that? I mean, rebounding is, I guess, okay for his position, but not great. So I have problems with Markannen. But to the Mavericks, it makes sense. The one problem I would have, and the one problem they're going to have as well, Dirk will retire soon. Okay, Dirk Nowitzki will retire soon, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be this offseason. So you're going to have 1 year with Markannen sitting on the bench. Unless if you want to play Dirk and Markannen, in which case you're going to be horrible defensively. Just awful. Awful. Okay, so that's the interesting decision, which is why they may take Ntilikina, point guard out of France. But I thought they were impressed with their rookie point guard this past year. I can't remember his name right now. Yogi Ferrell. I thought they liked Yogi Ferrell. Or no, was it Yogi Ferrell? It was. So to me, they're going to stick with this guy at point guard. They're not going to take another point guard. But hey, they could. I mean, so that's why I had Markannen mocked there today. But who knows what I will have next week. And by the way, there will be a new mock draft every week up until the 2017 NBA draft. And then to round out the top 10, the Sacramento Kings take Ntilikina out of France. Now, I've done some preliminary work on Mr. Ntilikina, and I think I'm pronouncing his last name correct. I will make sure after this video whether or not I did, but I think the N is silent, and I believe it is Ntilikina. Maybe it's Ntilikina, but it should be Ntilikina. Either way, Frank out of France. And personally, he has issues. He reminds me so much of Emmanuel Mudiay, and that scares the hell out of me. A guy that's going to turn the ball freaking over, dog. Ntilikina is a better three-point shooter than Mudiay was, but Mudiay was a better finisher at the rim. And Mudiay still can't shoot a good field goal percentage in the NBA. He's shooting like 30-something%. So that concerns the hell out of me. But the Kings, they're going to have to do something. They could take Zach Collins, the power forward / center out of Gonzaga, or Donovan Mitchell out of Louisville, or OG Anunoby out of Indiana. We'll see. But for now, I have Ntilikina out of France going to the Sacramento Kings. And with that said, thus ends my 2017 NBA mock draft. What were your thoughts on this mock draft? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.